Hey everybody, and welcome to the ArcheAge Livestream. I'm the Blue Muzzy, also known as Muzzle in the forums. We've got Anne-Marie right here, we've got Crolin in the back, and then of course we got, where is she? There she is, Serafina. Senior CM, Executive Producer, and CM. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. So last week, we did a celebration stream for 3.5, and a lot of people had concerns that wasn't addressing your concerns, and it wasn't meant to, but it was my fault. I did not very clearly state that was meant to be a celebration stream. So this here is going to be a very deep dive discussion on some key topics that I have written down here that I've been farming from the community and the forums and the Discords and the Reddit and the private messages and Steam and everywhere. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We don't have a lot of time, as you know, we are always pushed right up to the deadline. We will still be doing giveaways, but at the end. So I'm going to prime my compatriots here with a couple of questions.
Good. Before we do, let's go into game. We are on Kyprosa server today, which I was actually on a little bit last week.
Yeah, why were you on there?
We were working on some skill fixes for some people who lost some levels, lost some abyssal skills.
Yeah.
So I came back for the live stream. We're going to run around on Kyprosa and say hi to people.
Can we talk about what you're wearing real quick?
Briefly, sure. Some people might have seen this, I think, on a prior stream.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Flutter Dance robes with this super awesome particle effect, because particle effects make everything about 10 times cooler.
Right. And so this is coming out at the end of the month, kind of
coming out next week.
Yeah. Oh, next week. Great. Yeah. Some people were asking about that, so I just wanted to call that out. You're just gonna be doing a server tour while we.
Server tour. Check out some housing.
Cool.
See what people are up to. Go chase people. I'm on Growlgate because it's a nice place to start, because that's harder to teleport into here.
For other people, you mean?
Yeah.
So they don't spam you on screen. Actually, just so you guys know, I have been streaming personally on my personal Twitch account over the past week, and I've had a lot of really great people come in and talk and kill me, and it's been a lot of fun. I've actually really enjoyed it. So if I'm streaming more, you guys should come in. I try not to do too much work during that time, but yeah, so come hang out. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about, we kind of just glanced over that real quick, but the ancestral level loss and the abyssal skill level loss. Merv, you want to take that over? What it was, and like what did we do to fix it? And what are we doing to continue to keep our eye on it?
Sure. So you know, out of the 3.5 issues, I think we're going to go over a couple of them today. This is pretty much a Q&A stream like how we've done it in the past. As Muzzy mentioned, he collected some questions. I'll go over them to the best of my ability. If you guys have questions in chat, please feel free to ask them, and we'll try and grab them as well. But let's start off talking about the ancestral skill issue that happened on live. NA players might be asking what's going on if you're not, in tune with the forums or the global issues, I would say. For ArcheAge, you might not be aware of this, but a lot of our EU players who used growth stones to level their ancestral skills at the release of 3.5 experience issues where they were losing a very large amount of experience upon death, and that experience was unrecoverable. That was largely caused by a DB issue that EU experienced during the 3.5 update, and all characters that were affected by the issue were affected differently. On last week's stream, I mentioned what our resolution would be for that, and thankfully it's been a majority of the team, all of the producers on the product, including Apple God, SOC contributed, basically all on EU servers, trying to reach as many people who are affected by it and manually fix them. So that was a majority of our time last weekend. Amory mentioned that this character is on Kyprosa because she was on this character fixing people on live. Now, there are some EU players who are still affected by this, and it's our goal to get to all of you. And it's best if you submit a customer support ticket if you are still experiencing this. In general, it's stabilized now. We do have some residual cases where people are still losing some experience due to the growth stone issue. But scripts have been applied, it's largely fixed, and we're moving forward with that resolution. So again, sorry to impact you guys there. Working to correct it to the best of our ability.
Right, and just so you guys know, I am trying to write down a couple of the questions. I might be grouping them into certain categories and kind of bulk answering them because we don't have a lot of time, but I am trying to keep track. Also, I think it would probably be better to not ask questions about things outside the topic that we're actually on at the time until the end of the stream. But if I see them, I'm going to definitely try to write them down. Although when I'm talking, I'm not reading, so... okay, so that's great. We had an issue, and we actually sent our devs in there to manually fix it, including a lot of people here, which was cool. And then also there were some people that unfixed, but then we went back in and we fixed them. Yeah, so that was really good. I'm really happy with how the team managed that stuff. And then the rest of them, if you guys are still experiencing issues, there's a good long forum post that just has a list of people in it. Also, submitting a ticket is going to be your fastest way now. So if you're one of the stragglers, submit a ticket. We will get to it. Of course, we're under heavy load for the ticket stuff, but please submit a ticket. That's how you're going to get fixed there.
And I wanted to mention one more thing about this. Typically, whenever we have an issue like this, and we have in the past, it's addressed on the mass scale with like a DB script that's applied that manually adjusts everybody who's affected by the problem.
Right.
The challenge here was the DB was in such a state where everybody was affected differently. So the only real way that we could fairly address it is by manually looking at every case and adjusting those players accordingly.
Right.
And that ended up working decently. Thankfully, it was a manageable amount of people that were affected. And that's why we chose that resolution method over a way that we've done it in the past.
Right, and DB, for those of you who are wondering, database. Bad DB says Big Data Dude. You guys all know him. He is actually on the forefront of those that mission to help cure everyone as well.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to give him a shout out. Big Data Dude, you guys see him in chat. He's on the forums a lot.
Yeah.
He's basically involved. The god of the way our DBs work and resolves so many issues behind the scenes, and then the ones that you guys end up seeing. He's pretty much our front line there, and he did a great job with that too. So hats off to him.
We should call out he was also amongst those like helping to fix everyone last weekend.
Right.
So when we were all in chat, he was just amazing.
Yeah.
Like everyone was just awesome.
Yeah, actually, I was up at like midnight that night, and I saw in our chat system, I saw people still working on the problem. So we were very dedicated to that because I think we had to be online with them at the same time in order to make sure.
We were looking for online characters. Yeah.
That's to me, honestly, that's a lot of dedication. And that's what we're going to try to do for you guys in situations like that. All right, so the next thing that we're going to go to, I'll throw an easy one your way: compensation for 3.0.
Compensation for 3.0. So you guys may have seen already that the gift coin system is currently in game. When we talked about it previously, I mentioned a workbench on Mirage Isle, but ultimately this ended up being an additional tab in the marketplace. It's under the award tab, I believe. It's called gift coin. There are several items you can, if you gain a gift coin, you can use that tab to gain one of several items there. Now, we talked about during the 3.0 update, when that was finally added, we would do a compensation grant to give everybody gift coins to try that out. So Celestrata has the details on that, but it is something that we will deliver in the near future now that that system has been added.
Yeah, basically we're looking to target everyone who was logging in at the time of our 3.0 update. That's from the launch all the way into about mid-January. We're going to be giving everyone 10 compensation coins. 10 is going to be a really big number for us. Like if something really goes majorly wrong, you're going to see 10 popping up for our compensation coins. So we're going to be delivering that hopefully by next week or so. We're putting the final touches on that compensation pack. Also, along the same lines, a lot of people have been asking about the Mysigon's Hidden Crate. There's been an issue where players have been opening it, trying to find the merchant costume basic, and they let us know that it wasn't dropping. Upon looking into it, unfortunately, there was a translation issue in that crate, and the merchant's costume wasn't supposed to drop. So obviously, you guys have been putting a lot of time and effort into getting those crates, so we want to fairly compensate you for that as well. And next week, around the same time, we're going to be releasing a different compensation pack. For those of you who have opened 40 or more of those crates, you're going to be getting the costume off the bat, as well as 5 gift coins on us, just to say, hey, are bad about that.
Yeah.
And the good news is for those who are really interested in the costume but didn't open 40 crates, it's going to be coming to us in the future via an event. Exciting event, probably one of your favorites. So look more for that information as we get closer to that event. But yeah, we want to make sure everyone was squared away on that one too, especially those of you who are opening a lot of boxes. We want to get you guys all fixed up and right.
And let me be clear about the way that we will use gift coins in the future. That's basically just a standard currency that we have the ability to distribute as needed. if issues are experienced that are on a much larger scale than gift coins can compensate for, we'll address that on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
You guys saw that when we had that outage time during the regrade event, we gave away those regrade packs. And of course, the large pack we gave away at 3.0 that included the mounts. So it's all going to be adjusted to scale, and the gift coins are just kind of a base point. We do have a general, like, if this sort of interruption happens, here's the appropriate amount of gift coins. But again, they're not the 100% complete item that will be granted for those types of issues.
Right. I also want to point out, like 3.0, so people are like, oh my god, this is what we waited 6 months for. Remember, 3.0 had a lot of compensations to it. It had a unique mount that you could only get from logging in and participating in the game around 3.0
Right.
as a sorry from us. That's a completely unique mount that you will never see ever again. There was another pack of items that we delivered to. There was now the coins. There was a double XP event, a double everything event, I believe.
Right.
So this is like the end of a lot of gifts.
Exactly. Is the cherry on the top. But because it all didn't come at the same time, I'm seeing people saying that it's underwhelming. But look back look back and see at all the things that were rolled out for that, and then put that all together. Is this Kadoom?
It is Kadoom.
Oh,
It's
cool.
Kadoom.
I remember when he came out. I've actually never seen him in game yet.
I also wanted to mention one more thing, just for you guys in chat who are commenting on the underwhelming nature of compensation. Please provide suggestions on things you'd like to see on the compensation gift tab in the marketplace. I can't guarantee that we'll get those things, but if you feel it's underwhelming, suggest a thing that's better, that's also appropriate to be distributed on a mass scale, and that means alt accounts can claim it and all of the restrictions that are included there. So feel free to suggest it.
Yeah.
Also, Prestige is going to be one of those things. It's not there now, but it will be coming in the future. We're going to be adding Prestige to that tab.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So,
I know one more thing, because I see it popping up. Some people are like, Zodiac Festival compensation. And we've talked about that a couple times. We're going to be doing the Zodiac Festival compensation when the Zodiac Festival runs again. That way, you guys have it at the same time the festival is active, so you can use it as you see fit.
I'm kind of cracking up. Chat, you guys are a bunch of realists. Golden ticket for service outage, yeah. Sloth gliders, sure. What else can you think of right now? And a Noan Galleon, yeah, definitely add that. What do you think, like 3 gift coins?
Yeah.
Please be realistic.
Yeah, that's the problem. Everybody has to be realistic in order for that to actually function well. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next thing, the player nation bug. I've got a lot of forum discussion on this, and I'm going to talk about the forums in a little bit. But so let's talk about the player nation bug and what it is and how we're addressing it, or how XL is addressing it.
Yeah, so this is a long-standing issue, and it basically is affecting the way Player Nation members interact with NPCs, whether those are guards in some cases. In other cases, it's NPCs during world events, like at Aegis Island. We have a lot of challenges here, we really do, and we know it's an issue. Like, basically, the way that, to give you a little bit of behind the scenes about how this actually happens, we identify an issue, it largely comes from you guys reporting it, or it's found on PTS, or we experience it internally. Regardless of how that method is originally found, it's then escalated to XL. We generally include video reports of it, personal experiences with it, as much information as we possibly can. Mm-hmm. It's then on to that team to reproduce the issue and address it, ultimately because they own the code for ArcheAge. There are a lot of challenges there in cases where they can't reproduce the situation, or it's something that's selectively happening to a live server. But I mean, we just have to be persistent there. Those Player Nation members who have experienced this issue for, in some cases 3 months, 4 months, with regard to the NPCs not respecting your faction. It's just a never-ending thing that we bring up to the developers on a weekly conference call and say this is a thing that is happening and it needs to be fixed. And unfortunately, it takes us a long time to get resolution with some of those things. Yeah. So that's generally our status. But again, I mean, we don't have access to code. We don't have the ability to fix it, other than we can just continually suggest the thing is broken and show that.
Yeah, actually, since I've been a CM, which has only been about a week, I've seen this conversation go a couple times. So I know that we do that, which is really nice. But trying to get that stuff fixed, it's going to take a little while. It's going to be up to XL in that case. So next thing we want to talk about is going to be the Rampage discussion. So the new B200, etc., S200, and I think G200. So Cell started
C200.
Oh, C200. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
I'll actually take it. So
okay. Sure.
we're gonna start from the beginning with this, because I know there's that large forum thread, and I just kind of want to give the widest amount of detail I can about this topic. So we learned about the Rampage version of cars, way back when KR released the update. We had insight on that vehicle being available at that time, and it's something that we always wanted for our region. A lot of that was just driven by players saying that this is a great car and we want it, and us agreeing with that. So we basically, over the 6 months after the release of 3.0, said, when are we getting this car? How will it be delivered to our audience? And that was just an ongoing discussion, and it was, in the future. That was the net result. As we approached 3.0 or 3.5, XL revealed that the various Rampage versions would be available in the 3.5 build, and that's how we would distribute them. Now, for Tryon, whenever we see a new item like this come into play, our general operating procedure around it is to request for a version that's craftable in-game, if there is a version that is also sold on the marketplace. In some cases, items released are exclusively craftable in-game, but generally if they exist on the marketplace or in a pack, we would make the request that there's also an in-game path of progression to get it. Sometimes, as you guys see with the items in Archeum supply crates, that path is through loyalty. Sometimes it's in-game, through crafting. Sometimes it's through login badges, but generally we request that XL provides that additional option. That's something that is unique to our region. Not all regions have the ability to request that, but it's generally a way that we've seen that resonates well with you guys. So we requested that. Now, there was a lot of debate around how that car would be delivered with the 3.5 update, and that was an ongoing discussion that, maybe XL and Tryon didn't agree on distribution methods completely. One of the reasons why we didn't provide a lot of information about that up front is because that discussion was going on up until the release, ultimately. So you saw the method that was delivered on live. Now, there was a lot of questioning about the upgrade ticket that's used in other regions. So a little bit of history there. KR, the Korean version of ArcheAge, released with that ticket as a marketplace item that you could pay about $50 to upgrade your existing upgraded Tier 2 car to the Rampage. Russia also followed suit with a similar process. But in those other regions, generally there's no crafted way to get the Rampage. It's pretty much you either have to use that, craft a Tier 2 car and then use that upgrade ticket. No direct path to craft the Rampage straight up. So that was a discrepancy between our regions, and that's kind of what happened there. Now, that's not to say that Tryon didn't suggest using that ticket in our region. We generally suggested two things. The first thing was, can XL provide consideration about if this thing will ever be available to us? And the answer ultimately was not at release. That doesn't mean no, never. It was just stated that not at release. We also made the suggestion that maybe there would be a way to salvage existing cars. That means deconstruct a Tier 2 car into base materials and then use those base materials to craft the Rampage. That was also decided as a no. So you have the current thing that exists on live where the S200 is crafted and the B200 is purchased. That's kind of where we're at right now. Those discussions are still ongoing. Ultimately, that can be a thing that we continue to push on. I personally think that when you look at our other systems like costumes and underwear, you can even stone them or use that special even stone on them to get a percentage of materials back after you don't like the rules on it or whatever. I generally like that solution for a lot of different things, and the Rampage is one of those. So hopefully we'll continue to have that discussion. So that's pretty much it, where we're at for the Rampage.
Yeah, and also there's been there was a really cool video showing that the Timber Coupe just has superior hill climbing than the Rampage does, and I mean the cars are different. They're meant to be different. They're four different things. Yes, you can carry more packs in the the B200. Only the B200 you can carry 4 packs, I believe. Or
three in the back, and then 4 people can be holding them.
That's right, 4 people. And then the the Timber Coupe carries fewer but can go faster and has going up has more hill climb and stuff like that. So
and we've seen other things.
Cars.
We've seen other things in the past, like the Timber Coupe was delayed for release in NA and EU. Ultimately, when the Timber Coupe was added, we added a conversion recipe for Apex Squalls and Comet Speedsters to basically salvage the chassis of those vehicles and spend an amount of Gilded Stars that was slightly greater than the directly translated recipe to craft the Timber Coupe. So we've had these sort of upgrade paths. When you look at the Rampage, I mean, there's not a lot of other upgrade paths that allow you to convert an existing thing into the next better new thing. An equivalent of like taking a 1,000 Gilda mansion, turning it into a 3,000 Gilda mansion. Those are generally not things that exist. Farm haulers are a case where the vehicle is upgraded over time into the next best version, but I think that's one of the main points of precedence.
But it's all the same frame.
I think the important takeaway there is, we're continuously talking to Excel about this, and we have our perspective on it, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now for what I think is the biggest one is the current trade pack economy. Players have had a lot of input on this. They say that royal seeds are the problem. Well, they started with larders are the problem, then they went backwards to royal seeds, and outposts not creating. Can we go to big cam? Outposts not creating enough packs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna let Merv take this one too. We talked a little bit about this beforehand, so.
Yeah, so I mean, with the trade system, I think that when we were talking to XL about the 3.5 update, we had plenty of concerns about it. I mentioned that on a previous live stream when we talked about trade. Generally, a majority of those concerns didn't happen, but one of them that did was the way trade outlets create cargo. And I think that's one of the main. I did not crash that chat. I am clearly on the couch talking about top issues.
He has no control.
I'm holding a pup. Okay, that was not a scroll and crash. Amory did that, or one of you guys did that, or something. Anyway, talking about trade packs. So one of the things that we suggested was the way that the trade outlet filled up with cargo. The ratios may not be optimal. And so, Big Data Dude supplied some information about how trade packs are actually accumulating on live. And one of the big challenges we see is that the ratios are not appropriate. So that's mostly due to the larder process and the inability to immediately craft a larder to satisfy the outlet's requirement to meet all of the ratios. So generally, the way that we take that and kind of create an action item around it is to go back to Excel and say, look, on high population servers and low population servers, this is a challenge. The cargo is basically not being created on unacceptable means. So Trion will suggest several things that we think should happen to it. Some of those are driven by player suggestions. Ideally, I think it's a thing like maybe instead of having a hard ratio, all trade packs that are turned into an outlet generate some sort of points, and those numbers, the number of points determines when the tower creates the cargo. And that's to make sure that, there is an influx of leg 1 packs being turned in, and then the tower is not gated in the creation of cargo by waiting for specific packs. So something like that, it would flatten it out a little bit more. I think that's just a very high level suggestion. There are a couple approaches we're gonna take with Excel, but we do recognize this as a problem and are gonna push for resolution there. Definitely gonna try and make it so cargo is more accessible, because what the hell, the crafting system is dependent on it. I saw chat earlier talking about charcoal. Obviously, cargo is the gating system there. This needs to work correctly, and in my opinion, it doesn't currently. So going to push for that.
Yeah. So a couple people actually brought up in chat, like, did Korea see this in their version too? And the actual answer is they've changed it a couple times in their versions. When I was looking through the patch notes to create our version, I noticed multiple changes to the formula from them in multiple builds. So they were actually playing around with the formula as well. On the other side of it, I had some people actually ask me in game, they were bringing trade packs into the trading outlet, and then they were like, I don't understand, my percentage isn't going back up. It's staying down, like it's not refreshing over time. Is this a bug? And the answer to that is that's actually intended by the system. The system is actually looking at the trading outlet and saying what packs are being stored. And if those packs are still being stored and not being converted into cargo, it depresses that pack because the trade outlet says there's just no demand for it. So this will actually help some, if we can change those formulas and get more cargo created, it's going to affect that as well. So you're going to see prices rise and fall as the outlet is constantly converting things into cargo. If those packs sit too long, then they're not going to go back up.
It's actually a really interesting economy system. I mean, it requires players to be involved. If they're not involved, the economy dies. Obviously, the want to be involved in some of this based on royal seeds and whatever is going on, or the amount of gold that you get for the packs and whatnot. That's all going to be high level stuff that we are looking to address. So
Yeah, in chat, I mean, you guys call it out. Like, we would never want to introduce a change that then floods cargo so that there's an influx of that's greater than intended. I think that, like Celestrata mentioned, the trade system, the version you guys see has been changed multiple times, and there were even worse dependencies previously. So it's a matter of fine-tuning it and getting it closer to the intended design. I'm of the opinion that any system that's 100% player-driven is always subject to these sorts of things, and would largely suggest some way for the system to also compensate for those deficiencies, whether that's, maybe it spawns cargo on intervals, or there isn't, a lot of different options that create so there's not 100% dependency on player interaction with it.
Right. Okay, so those are our big topics. I just want to say I was trying to write down some other things that I had seen. So, for example, the speedboat bug, which I know that we've already, in the forums, we said that we sent that bug out to XL. We're waiting for a reply on that. Merit badges, the merit badge shop apparently may not be working. So, again, put in a ticket, that would be great, or go into the bugs forum and put that in there. That would be fantastic. I see some phishing comments, how everybody wants to go back to the good old days of phishing. So go make a forum thread about that, and hopefully through even keeled, level-headed discussion, I will have enough of a discussion to actually make a case for you guys on that. Also, a lot of PTS questions and stuff like that. Again, all of those things are good for the forums. So I just want to address my actions in the forums lately. I want to tell you guys what a CM does a little bit, or at least what my role is, and it's to be the liaison between the players and the company and XL, and that goes both ways there. So for me, if I have good discussion in the forums that is not interrupted by a lot of trolley comments or a lot of straw man fallacies, then I have a much better chance of being able to write a good report for you guys, so that I can get something seen and heard and understood. But unfortunately, if there's 50 posts in a thread and there's 40 of those are trolley, then I only have a 10 post thread, which is not as good of an argument for me to bring in your favor. So do me a favor and use the forums as a way to discuss important topics and to get things done. I will be forum diving every day, as you guys have seen. I've also been in the Discords hanging out, so you guys can bug me in there too. But realize that you cannot ask me to fix something directly, because if I did, everything would break. If I touched any code, it would all just be destroyed. So it's probably not a good idea to give me that command. Anyway, so let's open it up in chat, and let's go ahead, and if you guys have a question, do a Q with a colon and then put your question out. We'll try to go ahead and read some of these things up for you.
I have a couple of them that I've grabbed so far. So for PTS, a couple people are asking when PTS will be back. We have a July update that we're working on currently. As you guys know, we have monthly updates. PTS will be back to support that, I would say, probably in about a week. But that's the goal there. We'll bring it back when the July update is ready for testing there. So that's the timeline.
Right. I saw the UI chat or the UI lag bug. We actually just had to talk about that right before we came in here. I made sure to get that bugged. We couldn't actually reproduce it on our machines, and we have the FPS counter that's sitting there and stuff like that. So do us a favor, and if you have any videos, go to that forum thread and post a video of it happening. Also, there are a couple other things that I put in there that I would need, like your OS and whether or not you're multi-boxing, et cetera, or multi-client, whatever. Okay, so let's
couple more questions. Run Runner is coming up. It's on deck. I saw that question asked. Run Runner will be coming back for the third installment now.
Yep.
That is the favorite event that is run in Rookborn Basin. Coming back very soon. Another question. Lost my train. Okay, this is the question about Fresh Start auction houses and legacy auction houses, and basically the cadence of the way Fresh Start will proceed in the future. So if you guys remember with the 2.0 release, ultimately there was a point where a couple main milestone points for the Fresh Start lifecycle, and that's one where the legacy auction house and the Fresh Start auction house are joined. Also transfers allowed between Fresh Start and legacy, and then ultimately calling Fresh Start a legacy server and treating it as such. You saw that cadence for Morpheus and Rangora in the past. We have the intent is that the existing Fresh Start servers will move along that path at some point. but we're not at a point where we're ready to merge auction houses yet or allow transfers in those directions. Generally, the timeline for the 2.0 Fresh Start servers was about 9 months after their release when we started merging them, starting the cycle for them to merge to a legacy server. But yeah, so that's where we're at there. I mean, I don't see it happening within the next couple months, and we'll provide, ample time for you guys to prepare for that when it does.
We did see the ode is bugged compared to the other songs. I think that was in the forums, and I actually already brought that to somebody's attention. Also, Serafina, would you mind talking about boss timers and stuff? That's been something that many players have been bringing up.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, obviously it was a big discussion in the forums before we launched 3.5, where the boss timers were just, really, really late. And then as an effort to change that in order to make it more targeted towards people's prime time and the areas where everyone sort of plays at, we moved them in a hotfix to around, I think it's like 2000 for EU, and it's going to be 2 hours earlier than that, so like 6 p.m. PST for North America. And a lot of those boss timers are centered around that. If the boss does not die, then the boss actually will then respawn the next day. It will actually despawn after a certain amount of time and respawn the next time it's available. With certain other bosses, depending on who it is, if you're thinking about like Morpheus or Rangora, they'll actually spawn for a period of time, and then when they're killed, they'll respawn in a specific amount of time, not on a timer, but on a sort of like a set countdown. If they don't get killed, then they'll despawn after a certain amount of time, and then they'll respawn later after that countdown completes, as if they had died. So I know that there was some confusion around that, but they should be earlier now, and they should be set more towards prime time. The days have slightly changed for some of them too, so definitely stop by the patch notes if you haven't already and check those out to see where your favorite boss is now spawning per week.
Right. I also saw questions about glider normalization. And I saw that thread, and again, there needs to be a good, solid amount of discussion on that, because we can't just change that. We need to see the discussion around that and bring that case to Excel in order to get stuff like that changed. So please go to the forums. That is where you're going to be able to make most of your cases. A lot of these questions are, hey, can you do this? And the answer is, if there's enough support for it in the community, we can at least bring that to Excel and try to get that seen by them. So,
and there's other things like with regard to glider normalization, which is a topic that's come up. It depends, because it's not just that all glider, like there are the very different schools of thought. Mm-hmm. And if I pulled chat right now, some people like gliders in their current state, and an equal amount of people dislike the way that gliders currently are. Yep. And remember before when gliders were more in line with each other. So there are definitely different schools of thought here, and that's not to say that creating a forum post, and exaggerating one of those views is the way to get something done. But it's fair to have a discussion around it. I value like specific points. Like whenever you guys present something and it's factually oriented and it's clear and concise, that resonates a lot better with me. Yeah. I saw a question from Chad about the 3.7 update in Korea. Our update path going forward, generally we're going to have a milestone for our third anniversary that's coming up in September. I do believe there's a chance that we could get some of the content in 3.7 before then, but in general we're going to follow the Korean release cadence. You guys will note that some of the 3.7 features were delivered in the 3.5 build, but we will likely follow suit in the same order that it was distributed there for the rest of the stuff.
Yep. Also saw, by the way, just to put this out there, some people were asking, like, where should I put my feedback? If you have feedback about the game or things you are interested in changing or suggesting, we actually have a feedback forum. It's not just, I know everyone just goes to gameplay discussion and just posts in there, but there is a feedback forum below that, and that's the perfect place to put the ideas you may have or the suggestions you may have. Just drop them in there for us.
I see this comment about safe zones around outlets. It's too big, or some people just want it removed entirely. I think that that is something that I could see as a forum discussion topic. I know there's also been comments about people camping the outposts and stealing packs or killing pack runners that are going to these outposts, and people want outposts in several locations, many more than that there already are. So that kind of thing is a really good discussion point to bring up in the forums for me. It'll help me again build that case for you guys.
Mm-hmm. But like that change, was in response to what we had previously, which was like guards in front of the trading outlets and things like that, in front of the different trade posts, and moving to that sort of like neutral ground space allows players to actually get in and perhaps get packs into an area where they can finally deliver them rather than standing in front of a person and getting killed at the last possible minute because someone else throws up a boat and then distracts a guard.
Right.
You know, we remember those times, and, you know, this is a different, you know, movement away to actual PvP rather than tricking a guard and then grabbing someone at the last possible minute where they're not really paying attention.
I see more asks for compensation, leadership compensation. I actually don't know what leadership compensation would be. Maybe that's something that we can talk about after.
I missed that question.
It's.
I do see a question that's coming up about player nations and Aegis Island mats for Aeronor gear. Something that we can take a look at. I mean, ultimately, we just need to get that situation fixed. And then after it's fixed, we could explore something like that. That's not a promise to provide compensation for it, but it's just general intent. You know, once that system's resolved, I can take a look at that.
Yeah. Is there a marketplace update? I think we've already addressed that.
There is not one this week.
There's
Will be
not.
next week.
What are you guys Xing for?
I feel like they think we're getting close to.
So, like, all right,
Like, go
that's the
miss,
bulk of the
5
question. Start Xing.
I did say we were going to do a giveaway tonight. I did see the Make the Lights Come Back On thread.
Yes.
That is a quality of life update that you guys had some good discussion in there. So I made sure to get that bugged with Excel. So there you go. I have done that part. It is up to them to then do it.
It's interesting because that was a deliberate change to turn that off, and then everyone's like, I miss them.
Yeah, it's like,
You
I
know.
want to put it back on.
And I'm going to be honest with you guys, you know, like a lot of the questions that come up here and on the forums, a lot of eyes are on those. So,
Yeah.
I know that I am personally more receptive to things that are well stated. I mentioned that previously. When the thread is super trolly, I kind of opt out on it pretty quickly. But when there's stuff that's well put together, I definitely pay attention. Even if it's something as small as the snow effects
that's another big one.
in the new zones are a little bit too
Intense.
PTSD inducing from those of you who experienced the 2015 snow effects for the seasonal event.
Come on.
So, you know, like even small threads like that have eyes on them. I really appreciate you guys who put together those thoughts there.
And everyone knows you were trying to turn on the snow one year. Everyone remembers that. And
I did turn on the snow one year.
I just
They
want
were
to say shout out to where is it? Shout out to Snakes on Selphira. Unfortunately, we don't have the gift to show his eternal upgrade, but congratulations there.
Yeah.
I actually want to ask you guys if I asked for this in the Discord, at least one of the Discords. I'm in like 4 ArcheAge Discords now. If you guys can, it would be awesome if you had any really cool successes with regrades, like, you know, the percent is really low or it's a really high level regrade. Go ahead and make a GIF of that and share it with us on Twitter, because we'd love to share that out and say thanks. We appreciate that.
Another item to note, there's been several reports of latency with regard to looking at inventory items, warehouse items, chest items. That's also being tracked. That's been identified very quickly post 3.5 release. Actually, it started on PTS, so that issue is being tracked.
Also cover chat crash bugs, so
I was
here's
just gonna
rarely,
say, item
but
link chat crash bugs are probably all related to that same thing.
They're
the
similar.
inventory lag
Okay.
and item lag, yeah.
All right, so that is being looked at, like I said. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We're done. No, I'm kidding. We're going to do some giveaways. Merv, we were talking about giveaways beforehand, and he has to get a lot of those things cleared for a giveaway. And he's like, you know what? Let's do something. Let's do this. Did we get that last one that you wanted to do? Is that cleared?
No, not yet. So that's something we'll do in the future. But
all right, we will do that.
We are giving away some great stuff today. We're going to start off by giving away 5 rocket gliders. So the cool new glider that's out there, the new Heights glider, Amory has one on right there.
Yeah.
We're going to give away 5 of those.
Damn, can I be in this giveaway?
No, you can't. You're not allowed. Sorry.
I'm not allowed. So we're giving away 5 of these, and I'm really disappointed with chat. I'm seeing X's. It's really boring. Can we see something like? Can we just see?
You're asking for it.
X actually disqualifies you.
Yeah.
Oh, does it disqualify you
yeah.
now? Is that how we have it set up? Our producer over here is saying
Oh,
that
that's terrible.
X just you're out.
that's rude.
Yeah, it's like no,
That's
I don't
so
want to
rude.
be in the giveaway. So can we see like hashtag rocket or something?
I don't know.
Like,
You're going to get trolled, man. If you tell them X's don't count,
Whatever.
they're going to start spamming
They're gonna be
muzzle or
mad.
something like that.
Oh, you can spam muzzle.
Don't
Yeah.
X's count. He's lying to you.
X's do count. It was a joke. By the way, if you are on any of our other platforms, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook right now, unfortunately you will not be in this giveaway. We are only doing the giveaway based on the chat population in Twitch. So go to twitch.tv/TrionWorlds. If you're not already there, if you do want to be part of that giveaway. I like seeing the hashtag rocket. That's fine with me. All right, let's do a
It's a
giveaway.
merge. It's not like rocket muzzle.
Yeah, rocket
It's
muzzle.
like
Right.
I don't know what that
Rocket
is, but that's
muzzle?
ridiculous.
Sure, you say what you guys want. I'm gonna live that role. Don't you worry.
Rocket muzzle.
All right, so let's see. We've got first giveaway goes to Adina, please. Congratulations for your rocket glider. Next one goes to Operations. Thank you for joining this this giveaway. You've just won yourself a rocket glider. We got T Cryo. I've talked to you a couple times. 1, 2, 3. I think I call you TK though, because I don't know exactly how to say your name. So thank you guys so much. Congratulations to you, Cybercop. Congratulations.
Nice.
And of course, Safe Game. I congratulate you as well. So we will be sending you guys a Twitch message. Please check your inbox or your other inbox, because sometimes it goes there as well. And that should be a code that we're going to give you guys for that. All right, so what else do we got? What's the other giveaway?
Next 5 items. So you guys may be familiar with the Cynthium pack that can be grabbed on the marketplace. It's pretty much once per account. But we can also distribute it. Amory has it up on the screen right there. This is a synth pack that provides Cynthium. Of course, you use Cynthium to augment your costume and your underwear. And also there's a bound serendipity stone in there so you can reroll a stat. We're going to give away 5 of those. That's a pretty cool pack.
It is.
That's cool. Okay, so let's give away 5 of those. So let's see synth. Hashtag synth in there. Hey, somebody's already doing it. I love it. They're reading my mind here. Muzzles work too, guys. Muzzles work too. That's fine.
Look at this, all this angry fighting I accidentally caused over here.
It looks like nice dueling.
Nice dueling.
It was nice, friendly
Nice
duels.
purple name dueling.
All right, so let's do this roll here. We've got Skills Tone. Congratulations to Skills Tone. Second winner is Chandru the Tiger. Congratulations on your Cynthium pack. Lemon Wall 1. Congratulations. Raziel 1974. You are also a proud winner of the Cynthium pack. And the last one goes to Chorale, one of those. Chorrale. Congratulations to you. You are a winner. Again, after the stream, we will get these giveaways out to you. You can go ahead and check your inbox. It may take a little while because we do streams until 2:30. I'm sorry, until 3:30. So please make sure that you are checking throughout the day. Thank you so much. All right, so what else? Is there anything else?
Last 2. So we're going to give away 2 of our Archeum Eternal packs. Generally, at the end of our stream, we give away one of those packs. We're going to go 2 today. I'm going to need to see something Rampage related in chat for it. But
Can I see like?
Really?
Yeah, I just want to see that.
Spell
in
that,
chat, please. It's an R with lots of E's.
With as
Can
many
we just
E's as
see?
you want.
Please, as many of those as
Is that
possible.
like a raptor?
It's actually a yelling frog, but that's okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I want to see Caprosa do stuff too. I want to see Caprosa all screaming for the server.
Okay.
On the server.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so in
Hey,
here.
Rose is
right.
hype.
Caprosa, I see
There
Reed
you
in
go.
chat. I see
Watching.
Reed. There we go.
That's someone who wants a Rampage. So the Archeum Eternal pack, guys, that is the one that's available on our store right now. It's the one we refresh when we have major updates like the 3.5 release. This has the Rampage B200.
Nice.
That's the new black car in that pack. It also has 90 days of patron time, some credits, and also regrade support items. It's a really good pack, and you're spamming this thing.
The
and
delay finally caught up.
Kyprosa is participating.
Thank you. You make my
Kyprosa's one of my
heart
favorite
sing.
servers, you guys.
All of you trolls out
Oh,
there, and
Caprosa.
you memers and you
Ricky.
memes. It's too good.
Let's do it. 2 of those packs.
All right, let's roll it. First one is gonna go to big lucky winner. 3, 2, 1. Drakath. Congratulations.
Drakath.
Even though you have an underscore in your name, we will still give it to you. And
Nice.
Sturmiko.
Miko?
Congratulations to you. You guys are both the winners. We really appreciate you guys coming out, and we hope we answered the majority of your major questions. Again, today was for major questions. We made sure to leave a bunch of time to kind of address the other things. If there's anything that we did not address, you guys are like, hey, I'd really like to know this. First thing you should do is go check to see if somebody's already asked that question in the forums. Don't make a new thread. Find another thread and show your support, because the more support or discussion on a topic, the better for us. And if you have already seen that thread, go in and be vocal, and obviously do it in a respectful way, because again, we would prefer to read respectful posts. That way we can actually count them. Otherwise they're not counted, because I will delete them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Cold.
Shit just got
We
real.
don't want to delete
I'm
stuff.
gonna leave that muzzle. I'm gonna sign every post with that from now on if I have to. So, all right, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us. Atlas Reactor is up next, so if you're interested in some simultaneous turn-based combat, team tactics kind of thing, then you're going to want to stick around for that.
I mean,
Thank you guys so
you've
much.
played a few games of Atlas Reactor, right? Just like a few.
Just a
I
couple.
may really like Atlas Reactor. All right, guys, we'll catch you later.
Yep, see you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Have a good weekend.